pew 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 pew. Welcome to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. It's Season 3, Episode 59. We're talking waiver wire today. My name is Michael Marcani. I'm the host with the most. I'm here with my boy, Tyler Ravelis, also known as It's Your Boy T. He points to the camera because he knows. He's the man with the knowledge, and we're here to give you that knowledge. We're going to share that knowledge for free. So, Week 5 is in the books. We're going on to Week 6. Me and Tyler have been working hard getting this fucking list together. Week 6 is coming. We got some buys again this week. And because of these buys, you might want to be hitting that waiver wire. You got to fill that roster. You got to get that lineup set. And we're here to help you on that. Like always, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on the Instagram and Twitter. Leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app if you can. And guess what? Today's episode of the Waiver Wire Podcast, it's available video form, audio form, and now, today, it's going to be on the AVG Fantasy Football website. It's avgfantasyfootball.com. The waiver wire should be up right on the front page. Links to that will be in any description as well. So go check that out. If you don't have time for the full episode, you can, go check it out in written form. And we have like all the reasoning behind why to add these specific players. That kind of goodness. If you also don't have enough time for the entire podcast, but you're like, I just want to listen to it, we have timestamps within the description of the YouTube and audio versions of the podcast, and so you can go through and skim through when we talk about all these players, and that way, if you don't have time, you can navigate through the podcast that way. Just an easy way to consume all the information we're giving you without having to listen to the whole thing, which I understand. I get you, man. You know, maybe your commute is only 20 minutes to work, so you can only listen to this for so long. So I get all that, and so those tools are there to help you out. I think I'm not forgetting anything before we start the episode. I might be. I'm not 100%, to be honest. But I will say we put in work on that. Well, Tyler put in work on this waiver wire article, so definitely go check it out. It's going to be fantastic, okay? Okay, take advantage of these things, okay? All right? Sounds great. Want to get into this waiver wire episode?
Yeah, your boy T's first ever waiver wire column. Yep. Check it out on the website, like Mike said. I put my blood, sweat, and beers into this.
Whoa, beers. Get it? Because it's normally tears.
Yeah. But yeah, we could do it with a little bit of breaking news, though.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that first.
Right, kind of middle of the game. Like, I feel like at halftime kind of broke.
Yeah.
We're recording this Tuesday night. So, yeah, we're watching the Bills-Titans game, and at halftime you get the breaking news. The Jets release Leveon Bell.
Yes. So, what are your thoughts on this? I think everybody's excited. Le'Veon Bell tweeted a little prayer emoji. So, you know the feeling is mutual. Le'Veon Bell is kind of hyped. He's leaving. I guess the Jets, for some reason, are hyped that they got zero use out of their $28 million running back. What are your thoughts on this? Where are you hoping he goes?
I'm just a little surprised that they released Le'Veon Bell before they decided to fire Adam Gase.
Yeah.
So, like, they weren't even thinking about firing Adam Gase. They're like, let's just get rid of Le'Veon Bell. And let's just get rid of one of our best football players, and then maybe we'll be better.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. But, yeah, Le'Veon Bell gets his wish. He gets released. He got his money. I think it was like $27 million guaranteed. So now we'll see where he ends up. We were kind of talking off air where we thought he could potentially end up. And, I know it's kind of unlikely, or it'd be kind of weird, or maybe for him to go back to Pittsburgh. But I could really see a scenario where he goes back to the Steelers. Like I said, the whole reason was like they weren't going to pay him the money that he wanted. But like I said, he goes to New York. He gets his $27 million guaranteed. He made a ton of money over there with the Steelers in the past. So I feel like it's not even about the money anymore because he secured the bag. But I feel like it's more about it's more about him just wanting to win. So now him being a free agent. he can choose on what team he wants to go to.
Yeah,
I can't
if he's
imagine.
smart.
I
If
can't
he's
imagine
smart.
he's going to choose another team that's shitty like the Jets, or he's going to choose a team that's in a rebuilding phase. I would assume that he's going to want to pick a contender and potentially try to win a championship.
If he's smart, he should do that. And I would love to see him go back to Pittsburgh. I actually tweeted it out today. Someone said, nah. Well, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good landing spot for him there, just because.
The team.
He already knows the offense. He knows the system. And he was the most successful he's ever been with the Steelers and with Big Ben over there. And the Steelers have a real chance at making a push for the Super Bowl. Maybe you sign him like a 1-year, $5 million deal. Like I said, he already made his money, so it's not. I don't think he's going to be wanting this fat contract. Maybe he just wants to play for a Super Bowl contender team. Steelers make a lot of sense to me, and I would like to see that actually.
Pittsburgh
I know you see
Steelers
the Steelers
have
fans back there. They're probably thinking we're all Steelers fans, but
Yeah, Tyler's just like a Steelers fan this year just because he put some money on.
That's my Super Bowl pick.
Because he put some money on them for the Super Bowl.
But,
so every time I talk to him, it feels like I'm talking to a fellow Pittsburgh fan. Yeah. But yeah, I would love it. They're the 13th most cap space. They have $9 million available. I would say the most available cap space is the Cleveland Browns. With Nick Chubb on IR, I mean, I've seen crazier things happen, and the Browns are big on. They sign Austin Hooper, they sign Odell, they sign Kareem Hunt, they sign all these guys that are big name guys. I know it sounds weird, and not really anybody else has been talking about it, but I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know about the. I don't know about the Browns.
I've seen crazier things happen. I don't know. I think they are content with Kareem Hunt, but
the Jaguars could maybe potentially make a splash. Yeah. My brother was saying he would like to see the Dolphins go out and get him. We're Dolphins fans, but I don't want Le'Veon Bell. I just feel like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd rather.
Miles Gaskin's good. I mean,
he's doing good enough right now, but the Dolphins have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds next year, so they can go out and get one of these, stud running backs coming in on a rookie deal, which will be way cheaper.
It's like almost if the Miami believes that they have like somewhat of a chance this year.
The Colts can make some sense. They got some cap space, and Le'Veon Bell being a good pass catcher. There was actually some rumors that he might, have ended up in Indianapolis before he went to New York. So I could see a scenario where maybe the Colts are another option right there. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Ready? There. I'm gonna predict Browns, Eagles. Some people are saying Cardinals. I don't know how I feel about that. But Kenyon Drake has not been as good this year. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, I would also say the Bears possibly, but then it's like when all these other guys were available, they didn't go out and sign them. When Devonta Freeman and you know what I mean. So that's why I don't think he'll end up there. But yeah, I could see them going to the Eagles or the Cardinal. I don't know.
With that being said, if you have Le'Veon Bell, are you trading him? Are you trying to trade for him, or what is your move right now?
I would say like the immediate move, if you don't hear anything, like say he's not playing this next week and nobody signs him, you're gonna be panicking because he's not on a team. He has 0 fantasy value as of right now.
Yeah,
but if I don't have him, I'm down to trade for him because anywhere he goes, it's gonna be a better situation than where he's at right now, where he was at in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that being said, like almost anywhere he goes, he's in a better spot. So that's why I'm down to go trade for Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. I mean, if I have Le'Veon Bell, I'm probably just holding on to him because I'm kind of curious to see where he goes. Obviously, depending on where he lands, it's going to dictate his value in fantasy. But if you're like 1-4, 0-5, 2-3, that might be tough. If you could trade him for something, because like you said, he might not be on a team this week coming up, and if he does get signed, he's still got to learn the playbook and all that stuff, unless he goes to the Steelers, like I was saying. So yeah, he might not be playing for another week or 2 potentially. So yeah, if I'm in a pinch and I'm struggling to get some wins, then yeah, I'd probably be trading Le'Veon Bell to get some players who are actually on teams who are going to give me some fantasy points because I need some fantasy points to get some wins right there. But if not, if I'm sitting good, if I'm like 4-1, 5-0, I'm just holding on to Le'Veon Bell because it's just another asset that I could have, and I'm just being patient to see where he lands.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think the Colts make a lot of sense. They lose Marlon Mack. I mean, they've been incorporating a lot of Jordan Wilkins. Jonathan Taylor
he's going to end up on the Patriots.
The greatest.
He's going to end up on the Patriots watch.
Yeah. Nah, definitely not. I don't think so. But
I don't know. They said the same thing with AB.
Yeah, someone tweeted he'll end up on the Patriots for like the league minimum salary.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid $20,000 to go to the Patriots.
Yeah, he's gonna pay the Patriots. Like, let me play with you guys.
Seriously. Well, all right. Well, that being said, let's hop into the waiver wire.
Pad the wire.
We gotta pad the wire. It's week 6 and we're padding the wire. Padding the wire because it's week 6 NFL. How'd you do in your leagues in week 5?
I'm 5-0 in one league.
That's our league we're in together, right?
Yeah, it's one league.
But
on the flip side, in one league, I'm 0-5. But that's the league where I've just been decimated by injuries.
Yeah.
Saquon, Eckler, Galladay's been out for 3 of the first 5 weeks. Paris Campbell went down. I can't catch a break in that league. But besides that, my other leagues, I think I am 3-2 in the other 3 leagues.
Yeah, I'm 3-2 in a lot of leagues. Yeah. I almost went 6 for 6 in all my leagues this week.
Get better, dude.
But Josh Allen kind of fucked me on that last game.
Get better. Dude.
But dude, can we talk about Jonnu Smith completely saving the day?
For you,
dude,
he didn't save the day for people who were playing against him.
If you had Jonnu Smith, if you listened to us in the offseason, we talked about Jonnu Smith, you were playing him this week. Yeah. And you were probably, if you were in the same position as I was, I barely pulled off a win with that last touchdown. It definitely shouldn't have been a touchdown because Ryan Tannehill was way over the line of scrimmage. They had no reason to pass the ball. They went on a 4th and 1, and with like a minute left, they could have just kicked a field goal. I mean, they're up by 14 points already. It was like the stars aligned for me. You can't ask for a better situation.
This podcast is not about you, all right?
I know, you're right. Okay, but
good game. Good one.
It's one of those that you get one every like year or two where you just pull a win out of your ass.
Yeah, you totally should not have won that game.
Yeah, no, I definitely shouldn't have. I won by 1.2 points. There's zero reason I should have won it, but I went Jonnu Smith to A.J. Brown, and it against A.J. Brown, and worked out for me. But that being said, let's get into the waiver wire. When we do this waiver wire,
pad the wire, pad the wire.
When we do this,
pad the wire.
When we do this waiver wire, we go quarterback, running back, wide receivers, and tight ends. So let's jump into quarterbacks. All right.
Yeah, so jump into quarterbacks right here. Usually we'll go over streaming quarterbacks. I think last week I said we wanted to try to be more accountable on the streaming quarterbacks that we did. I totally did not write this down. I'm totally unprepared for this. But I think we had Fitzpatrick, and I think we had Minshew as two of them again. What do you know? These guys are going to be back on the list. But I think Minshew and Fitzpatrick did good. Who was the third one? Do you remember?
That we did. I feel like we talked about Tannehill.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, we've talked about Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we've talked about a couple other guys. And again, we're diving back into Ryan Fitzpatrick right here. This is a little weird because I didn't write any notes. I just wrote that waiver wire column, so I'm kind of looking at the column as I'm going on this. But I put, do you believe in magic? Because we do.
Yeah.
And your boy Ryan Fitzpatrick over here, he's actually QB7 on the season right now. 21 or more fantasy points in 4 straight weeks. He's at home. This week he's at home against the Jets. I know it's a red-rated matchup, and you'll hear me say red-rated matchups, green-rated matchups. Obviously, green good, red being bad. But the Jets really haven't played against anyone. In week 1, they played against Josh Allen. They gave up 28 points to Josh Allen. Outside of that, they played against Nick Mullins, Phillip Rivers, and Brett Rippon. So, yeah, I do like me some Fitz magic this Sunday in Miami against the Jets.
I like
He's been cooking. He's been hot. My guy's been
Hansel. So hot right now.
I love it. Yeah, fire up Ryan Fitzpatrick. Quarterback 7 on the year. Fucking.
He's quarterback 7. He's like around 80% available in all 3 leagues: ESPN, NFL, Yahoo.
He had 16 rushing yards.
That was one thing I did on the waiver wire column. I wrote down the availability of each player in. I just feel like NFL, ESPN, and Yahoo are the 3 most popular.
Yeah.
So yeah, the percentage of the availability for those players will be on the column.
Faux show. Do it. So let's move on to the next one. We got the other Ryan Tannehill, destroyed last night. Tonight. Last night, if you're listening to this, Yeah, I think Ryan Tannehill, he's a guy I talked about a lot in the offseason. Like, why is everybody sleeping on him? He did so well in the tail end of the season last year when he went to Tennessee and took over. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with it. What do you have, 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards?
Yeah, and then you added another one on the ground as well.
Oh, right, that's right.
But yeah, Tannehill, the guy's just been super consistent. I think he finished as the QB1 on the week over everyone. Mahomes, Fitzmagic, Lamar Jackson. Ryan Tannehill was the best quarterback this week in fantasy football, and he's widely available. He's out there in a ton of leagues. Go get him. Next week they play against the Texans, which isn't a matchup that you're afraid of. You can run on the Texans. I know we were talking about the stat where they were giving up like 2,900 yards, or on pace to give up 2,900 yards. And when you think about what the Titans want to do as an offense, they want to run the ball with the big boy King Henry and then use play action. So if you can run all over the team like the Texans, you're definitely going to be able to utilize the play action. So I'm expecting another big game from Tannehill next week as well.
Ryan Tannehill, put him on your team. I love it. We can move on to Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford's another guy we liked in the offseason. He's pretty available, huh?
Yeah, I think he's more owned than not, but I mean, a lot of people, obviously he was on a bye. People are probably dropping him. So if he's out there, he's not a bad quarterback, especially if you like to play the matchups and stream quarterbacks week to week like I like to do in some leagues. But yeah, you're getting Stafford back. He's going to be in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Kenny Galladay's back. He's been doing really well for the 2 games that he's been there. So, and Vegas has this game as a 54-point over/under, so they're expecting a shootout. So yeah, dial up some Matthew Stafford this week.
Yeah, pick him up. This is my guy. I love this guy. I love watching him. I just love watching someone come in. Well, we're talking about Justin Herbert here. I love watching a rookie come in and just kind of, nestling in and fucking killing it. 300 yards here, 300 yards there, 300 yards there. I love Justin Herbert, and he loves me.
Yeah, he lit up the Saints on Monday night, 4 passing touchdowns, and that was all without his go-to guy, Keenan Allen. We kind of saw the Mike Williams show break out over there. But Justin Herbert looking nice. He has 22 or more points in 3 of his first 4 games to start his NFL career. I mean, if you need a quarterback, like you had Dak, or you're streaming quarterbacks, maybe go out and grab Herbert. He's out there in a lot of leagues, 65% ESPN, 56 NFL, 48% in Yahoo leagues. The only bad thing is that he's going to be in a bye this week. So if you go out and get him, you're just going to have to stash him for 1 week. But, I mean, yeah, he looks good. And, Keenan Allen should be okay. They were saying it's just back spasm. So, but, yeah. I mean, Keenan Allen looks good. And then if Mike Williams could be healthy and do what he does, I mean, Justin Herbert is slinging that thing deep. And that's what Mike Williams is. He's the deep threat guy.
And it's good to see it's like that. He's not reliant on Keenan Allen to, take up all of his receiving yards. Keenan Allen goes out kind of early. Obviously, he had the touchdown early on, but Jesus, during the highlights, I have like SpongeBob going. But yeah, but Keenan Allen goes out, and you're thinking like, oh, maybe this will affect Justin Herbert. It did not affect him. He still put out a good performance. So that's encouraging, I would say.
For sure.
All right, we can move on to the running backs. Or no, we have one guy. We have one more. Oh, 2 more.
How could you forget about your doppelganger, dude?
My doppelganger. Honestly, though, dude, I'd rather kiss me than Gardner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but
we're talking Gardner Minshew. We got a mustache. He's got a mustache. I have a mustache. Why do you want Gardner on there?
I put on the waiver wire column, I said, despite all the craziness going on in the world in 2020, Minshew mania is still alive and thriving. And my guy here has just been consistent. I feel like last year we were talking about how Tannehill was like so consistent, like a safe floor each and every week, and that's what made Tannehill last year such a good quarterback. And Minshew's kind of picking up and doing the same thing this year. 19 or more points in 4 of the 5 games. We kind of said it. The only bad game he had was that game against Miami where they had no DJ Chark. And I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of it or not, but Miami has 2 of the top 10 corners in the NFL. Like they went out and they paid Xavier Howard a lot of money. They paid Byron Jones a lot of money. So they're 2 top 10 corners the Dolphins have there. And then with no DJ Chark, so obviously it was just not a good game for Minshew that game. But besides that, like I said, Minshew's put up 19 or more points in 4 of the 5 games. he's going to be at home against the Lions. You heard me when I said Stafford. It's a 54-point over-under. Should be a shootout. So, yeah, dial me up some Minshew mania this week. He's available in over 50% of leagues in all three of them.
I like it. All right, dial up Gardner Minshew and also peep it, check it out. Look, Dak's ankle exploded. And so we got the Red Rocket came out there, Andy Dalton. The thing is Andy Dalton's not the sexiest quarterback, but they have a lot of weapons in Dallas, and I think that's enough to give some type of fantasy value to Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, I wish Dre and Anthony could have been here to do this, just to get their input on what they think about Andy Dalton. If you're like the Dak Prescott owner, like, do you think you could just go out? Obviously, he's not going to be what Dak Prescott was, but like you said, it's a high-powered offense. You have weapons everywhere. You know, Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator. You know, former Boise State quarterback Kellen Moore, and that, you know, those days back in college when Boise State was putting up like 50, 60 points a game. I think he's just really incorporated that offense into the NFL now. So he knows how to run an offense and make, you know, big plays, utilize the weapons. And I think Andy Dalton's a serviceable quarterback. Like, I think he can drop back there and get it done. I'd be interested to see what he could do in this offense. I would take a flyer on him. I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's like, okay, let me take a shot on him. Maybe he's like a poor man's Dak Prescott. You know, still a savvy veteran. You know, they went out and got him for a reason as a backup. Definitely one of the better backups in the NFL. And then if he doesn't pan out, then you just drop him. But I mean, his upside could be, you know, potential weekly streamer in this high-powered Cowboys offense. You know, their defense is struggling. They're giving up points. I mean, they just gave up like 30-something points to the Giants, who were struggling on offense. So each and every week, Andy Dalton should be back there slinging that thing. I'm not mad at potentially taking a shot on the red rifle.
Yeah. Take a shot on Andy Dalton. You forget he's there.
Yeah.
Red Rocket. All right, running backs. Let's do it. Let's move on. First one we got here, Devonta Freeman. Waiver wire. If he's still available, I think it's still a decent ad. His workload is insane, I feel like.
Yeah, he's more owned than not. Only 25% available in Yahoo and NFL. He's 38% available on ESPN, but 54% of the snaps in back-to-back weeks. And then during that stretch, he's had 15 and 19 total touches. He's the main running back in that offense that you want. I know it's not a great offense, and the offensive line is kind of sketchy, but he's a starting running back, and he's available on the waiver wire. Unless you're in like an 8-man league, I'd be going to get Devonta Freeman, especially with all the injuries and, you know, bye weeks coming up. You got games getting canceled due to COVID. You can never have enough running back depth. Go get Devonta Freeman.
Put him on your team if he's there. We got Chase Edmonds. This is a guy I said to start last week, and he put up 20 points. If you're in a PPR league, I think Chase Edmonds is a guy that you can start as an RB2 almost week in and week out.
Yeah, he's like on that fringe. I mean, him and Drake, he actually has more points than Drake on the season right now. I think he's RB27 and Drake is RB31 in PPR leagues.
Right.
But that's kind of where Chase Edmonds' value really comes into play here, PPR leagues. I mean, the running back snaps have been split. Drake's 65%, Chase Edmonds 35%. Drake's obviously getting majority of the carries. You know, I think he's out-carried Chase Edmonds 4-1. But then on the flip side, Chase Edmonds is getting all the targets. He's the third down back. He's getting all the receptions, all the targets. He's out-targeted Kenyon Drake 4-1. Yeah, definitely go grab Chase Edmonds. He's available in 54% ESPN leagues, 78% on NFL, so he's widely available there, and 36% on Yahoo. So, yeah, like you said, Mike, I'd go get him. And then if anything was to happen to Drake, Chase Edmonds is one of the, like, best handcuffs you could have. Yeah. Because if Drake goes down, Edmonds is more than capable to be like a 3-down back, and he'd be like a top 10 running back, locked and loaded in that Cardinals offense.
Locked and loaded, PPR monster. Standard, not as much, but still I think worth an ad. Okay, we can move on to the next guy here. We got Alexander Mattison. We got Dalvin Cook going down. Alexander Mattison, obviously, this guy's, I feel like out of all the handcuffs, he's one of the ones that are more owned than not. But he still is available, so that we got to talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's available in over 50% of the leagues across the board. I mean, go out and get him. Dalvin Cook went down. They're calling it in abductor strain. They're saying that he could potentially play this week, but then they have a bye week after that. So I just can't imagine a scenario where the Vikings go out and put their $63 million investment in their superstar running back Dalvin Cook and rush him back from an injury when they have a bye week the very next week. So we could see a scenario where Dalvin Cook sits this week, they have the bye week, and then he comes back after that. But in the meantime, Alexander Mattison is like a top 12 running back. And like I said, he's widely available in a lot of leagues. You should go out and grab him. And even if it's only for the 1 week, you hold on to him because, Dalvin Cook is not the model of consistent health. That guy could get hurt as soon as he comes back. If I'm a Dalvin Cook owner, I'm probably breaking the bank to go get Alexander Mattison. Yeah, just so I can have him. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, Dalvin Cook, like you said, is he's good at being injured and also good at football. But, okay, we can move on to the next one here. We got Damien Harris. So long as they don't sign Le'Veon Bell, I love it. Go grab Damien Harris. Yeah. I know the only thing that sucks is like this week it was, I was kind of excited for the Patriots to take on the Broncos, and I thought Damien Harris had a good matchup. We both talked about it as a start this past week. I thought the Titans game was going to get canceled if one of them was, and then it ended up being the Patriots game. But yeah, I still think it's a good ad.
Yeah, the Patriots game gets canceled because a couple players, they were down with the sickness.
I knew what you were going for on the drop, so I turned it down.
Nice, dude. See, we're getting.
By the way,
that's called team chemistry.
I was out of town last weekend, and I had a friend who listens to the podcast, and he was like, all your drops are copyrighted. I was like, yeah, I know, but we're not like monetizing anything right now, so who cares? And you're not gonna get copyrighted on like a 2-second thing. But it was really funny. He's like, we were listening to it, and it's like every single drop, it's copyrighted.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
But yeah, Damien Harris, go out and grab him. He's available in over 50% of all the leagues across the board. I mean, it was nice to see him when he finally came back off of IR. He got the start. Got 17 carries, got you 100 total yards, got you 0 targets, because James White was out there doing most of the receiving work for the Patriots. But Damien Harris is a very capable pass-catching running back himself. So I'm kind of curious to see if the more that he, gets going, if they kind of throw him the ball a bit more carries. It was just reassuring to see his first game. They didn't ease him in. They literally just handed him over that, I guess, Sony Michel role, if you want to call it, Sony Michel on IR. But, yeah, I would go out and get Damien Harris because, like I said, he's a starting running back. I know there's 3 running backs there. I know you got Cam Newton there, who's when he comes back, he could be the goal line back. But I actually think when Cam Newton comes back, that helps Damien Harris because now when they start doing these RPOs, the defense has to take into account for Cam Newton pulling the ball and running. So now these outside linebackers or these DNs are going to have to kind of stay on their ground instead of crashing in on the hole to get them when Stidham and Hoyer were in there. So, yeah, I like Damien Harris's value going forward.
Me too. The Patriots like that guy too. So that adds to his value for sure. Let's go on to Lamical Perine. Yeah, I mean, this is a guy you added. I'm curious what your actual thoughts are on that. Now that Le'Veon Bell's gone, does that make you think he's going to be the guy? Adam Gase is really good at playing and starting running backs that I wouldn't want to start, but that's just me.
Yeah, we threw Lamical Perine in here because there was some chatter of the Jets potentially trading Le'Veon Bell, and then obviously right before we kind of start doing this, they just released him. So, I mean, now all they have over there is Frank Gore, Frank the Tank. He's the timeless wonder. Adam Gase loves Frank Gore, and he's not going anywhere. But I think Lamical Perine is definitely going to be incorporated in this offense too. We're probably going to see a full-blown running back by committee there. But if there's going to be one running back who catches the ball or is the pass-catching running back out of the two, it's going to be Lamical Perine, not Frank Gore. For whatever reason it is, maybe they felt comfortable with Perine and Gore, and they were like, that's why we can get rid of Le'Veon Bell. Because I don't see why you just get rid of someone who's as talented as Le'Veon Bell if you're not comfortable with the other running backs that you have on the football team. But, yeah, go get Lamical Perine. He's available in 99% of the leagues. That number is going to jump up a ton after this week.
So much.
He'd be one of my higher priority guys to go out and get. Just because, like I said, you have Frank Gore there. But after that, it's the Lamical Perine show.
Lamical Perine. We can move on to Justin Jackson. This guy, I used to love this guy, but you can't deny the workload he's getting. He looked better than Josh Kelly this past week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for sure. 46 available on ESPN, 90% available on NFL. I don't know what people are doing. It's crazy how like these percentages are just crazy across the board. And then 56% available in Yahoo, so he's widely available. But like, yeah, he did look like the better running back on Monday night against the Saints. Got you 15 carries, 71 yards, added 5 receptions for 23 yards. I mean, this is still going to be a running back by committee. Josh Kelly is not going anywhere. But in the meantime, while Eckler is out for multiple weeks dealing with the hamstring and knee injury, both these running backs are going to get utilized. Go out and get Justin Jackson, and he's more of the pass-catching back out of the two between him and Joshua Kelly. Joshua Kelly's kind of like the bruiser. He was like we would kind of say it, he was like the Melvin Gordon, and Austin Eckler was the Austin Eckler. But so Joshua Kelly didn't just all of a sudden change his role. He's still kind of that Melvin Gordon bruiser kind of back, where Austin Eckler is, or Justin Jackson is kind of the Eckler role now, where he's catching all of the passes out of the backfield. So, yeah, go get Justin Jackson.
Yeah, definite PPR upside for sure. Yeah. Then we can move on to we're going on to receivers here. So we have a decent amount of receivers on this list. Just a lot of them had pretty big games this past week. We'll start on my boy Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool had 4 touchdowns, 3 receiving, 1 rushing. Yeah, I mean, he broke like a bunch of records, which was pretty cool to see as a Steelers fan. I think with Deontay Johnson just constantly getting hurt, that obviously he went out early in the first quarter, and ever since then, Chase Claypool was kind of like the deep route. He was kind of, he was a major part of the offense. So I definitely think he's probably like a number 1 ad for this week, just because of what he did this past weekend. Yeah, so I like it. I mean, the guy's tall, he's fast, I know that seems like a very basic analysis, but I mean he's consistent, and he's proving to be a big part of this Steelers offense. The Steelers also scored 30 points, which they haven't done in like 4 seasons or something like that. It's like 40 games or something crazy like that.
I mean, yeah, Chase Claypool is a freak athlete. They're talking about his combine numbers in terms of like how big and how much he weighs, like his height and weight, and how fast he runs and like his agility. The only other player with the same like height and weight to move that fast was Calvin Johnson. And I'm not saying he is going to be Calvin Johnson.
I mean, 4 touchdowns in one game is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the first time in NFL history someone's had 3 rushing or what? Wait, 3 receiving
and 1 rushing. Yeah.
I think I saw that. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Chase Claypool, go out and get him. He's more of a speculative ad. I always have struggle saying that word.
Yeah,
speculative ad.
Like I'm saying that he's going to be the most targeted, but I'm not saying that you should 100% target this guy first. I just know that he's going to be the guy that everybody's looking at. You score 40 points in fantasy, everybody's going to go for you, because there's a lot of people that just look at fantasy points and they chase those.
For sure, 100%. One thing I noticed when I was looking at the number, he played 69% of the snaps last week, which is pretty good. But I feel like a lot of that was due to the fact that Deontay Johnson went down. In the 2 games where Deontay Johnson has been on the field, Chase Claypool has only seen 34% of the snaps. In the 2 games where Deontay Johnson has not been on the field, that number jumps up to 72%. So his snap percentage is widely dictated to Deontay Johnson being on the field or not. But with that being said, he is a big playability guy. We've seen it where, I think one game he had like 1 catch for like 70 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. But that's what he is. He's a big freak athlete. He's fast. He's big. He's tall. Like, I don't know. He's just a freak athlete.
Yeah.
But with that being said, yeah, go out and grab him and throw him on your bench. Maybe you can go and grab him and trade for him, because someone might want him, but you get him, and now you can package him in a trade and get someone who's going to be more consistent going forward.
I tweeted it out a couple weeks ago. I was like, this guy should be on your dynasty team. If you can get this guy, you definitely should. Steelers are good at drafting receivers. Okay, we can move on to the next one. We got your boy Brandin Cooks. Defend your boy. He came out. He showed up.
I know, yeah.
How hyped are you?
Just threw Brandin Cooks in here because I saw something that he got dropped in over 15% of leagues. A lot of people were just kind of giving up on him after the 0. He's pretty widely available, 40% ESPN, 45 NFL, and then 56% on Yahoo. And I don't know why people are just dropping him. I get it. He put up a goose egg. But Will Fuller put up a goose egg. You don't see people dropping him. Calvin Ridley, as good as he is, 4 out of 5 games he's put up over 100 yards. But then the one game he didn't, he put up a goose egg. You're not dropping Calvin Ridley, are you?
Right.
And we touched on it in the matchups episode. He was one of my guys, my favorite starts of the week.
Yeah.
And the reason I told you why I liked him so much is because after week 1, where he only played half the snaps because of the injured quad, since week 2 on, he's played more snaps than any receiver, and he's had more routes than any receiver for the Texans. Had his best game of the season, obviously, 8 catches. I think it was like 13 targets. He had 161 yards and a touchdown. But I'm a gambling man, and if I'm going to gamble, I'll gamble that there are more days where he'll have games like this compared to games where he'll have 0. So I don't know why he would be being dropped, but go out and grab him. It's crazy because one of the guys I'm in the leagues with, I've been trying to get Brandin Cooks from him on the low, like buy low on him. He wanted like Tyler Boyd at first, and I was just like, I'm not trading you Tyler Boyd for him. But he was like, okay. He's like, well, if Brandin Cooks doesn't do it this week, I'll trade you. And I was like, okay. I wake up one morning, and he's on the waiver wire. And I was just like, oh, sick. Like, now I don't even have to trade you for him.
Right.
I could just go grab him for free. But I told him, I was like, bro, you should have hit me up. I would have gave you something. Like, I would have gave you more than what you dropped him for, But, yeah, Brandin Cooks.
Is that the same guy who dropped him for Tim Patrick?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, go get Brandin Cooks is what I'm trying to say. I think there are better days for this Texans offense. No more Bill O'Brien there. So, yeah, I do like that. And, you got to think. He came new to the system. He's still learning the offense. There was no preseason.
Yeah.
He was banged up all through training camp, so he was limited during practices. Obviously, the rapport with Will Fuller and Deshaun Watson is one of the best in the NFL, but I still think Brandin Cooks is going to be one of the guys in that office that he's going to go to.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Brandin Cooks. So, yeah, if you feeling like Tyler betrayed you in the offseason, look at that. Putting up some points for you. We'll go on to Henry Ruggs the third. Henry Ruggs had a good game. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Upset of the week?
Yeah, truly. That was
What's more of an upset, the Raiders beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead or the Dolphins beating the 49ers?
The Raiders beating the Chiefs,
I would
think.
say the Raiders, too.
Yeah, because
you just don't expect the Chiefs to lose at home.
the Niners are just so depleted. So, like, I didn't expect them to like outright win that game. I thought there was a chance, but I watch a lot of Dolphins games because we live together and we do this podcast together and we watch football together. But so yeah, no, for sure, I thought the Raiders one was more of an upset. I was out of town and I was with a girl and she said, like, I don't know, I like the Raiders this week. Like, she called it. It was kind of insane. And it's like the third time she's done that.
It's a bold strategy.
Bold strategy. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer takes betting advice from Lisa. And Lisa just is picking her favorite team. She's like, I like the Dolphins. And he ends up making a bunch of money from it. That's what it felt like. But yeah, Henry Ruggs had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, I mean, he's over 50% available in all the leagues. He only gets you 2 catches, but, I mean, they're big play catches. One was a 72-yard touchdown. We finally got to see that speed of why the Raiders took him in the first round. The other catch was
There it is right there.
Yeah, the other catch was a 46-yard reception. So he finishes the day with 2 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. But that's what he is. He's a big play guy. He's a high-risk, high-reward flex play. Go out and grab him. He definitely needs to be on your roster. Obviously, I think people were dropping him because he kind of came into the season. I think he didn't have a big week 1. Then he got banged up. He had the hamstring injury, missed a couple games, so people were dropping him. But if he's healthy and he's going to be out there, I mean, they went out and spent a first-round draft pick on him. He's their boom guy. He's their deep threat play, and he's one of those guys where he doesn't need a ton of targets. All he needs is one, and he'll get you that 70-yard touchdown.
And when he boobs, he sure boobs, okay? Okay.
Definitely should be rostered more than that.
Yeah, I agree. Raiders are looking good, 3-2, and they've played like the Patriots, the Chiefs. They've played some good teams. The Ravens, I think.
Yeah, they beat the Saints and they beat the
Chiefs.
So those 2 pretty good teams right there.
Yeah, did pretty decent against the Patriots. One would say. We can go on to T. Higgins.
It's your boy T.
It's your boy T.
Higgins.
He's looking like he's already Joe Burrow's favorite guy, which we kind of talked about in the offseason, but I didn't expect it to be this quick.
Yeah, Higgins is available, 58% ESPN, 75% on NFL. and 47% on Yahoo. But it's looking like T. Higgins is the number 2 option behind Tyler Boyd for this Bengals passing attack, not A.J. Green. There's actually some reports. A.J. Green, he's a little banged up. I'm not sure what the injury was, but he left the game.
I think he's faking it.
But there's reports of him being on the sideline yelling at the coaches, like, just fucking trade me already. Like, just trade me already. Like, so he doesn't want to be there. And if they do end up trading A.J. Green, obviously, former first-round draft pick John Brown, I think he was like the 10th overall pick. He's been a healthy scratch for the last couple weeks. He'll probably get dealt at the trade deadline as well. But, yeah, if they end up trading these guys, that just boosts T. Higgins' value even more, because that's pretty much just the Bengals saying, like, we don't need John Brown. We don't need John Ross, and we don't need A.J. Green. We have Tyler Boyd, and we have T. Higgins, and we're okay with that going forward. So, yeah, go out and get T. Higgins. He's actually out-snapped A.J. Green in 2 of the last 3 games, and he's out-targeted A.J. Green in 3 straight weeks. Go get you some T. Higgins.
Go get T. Higgins, and also shout out to the Bengals fans that called me stupid for saying A.J. Green is no longer going to be in Cincinnati. Look at it now. Who's dumb now? You fuck. Okay. Someone said it in the comments, but let's go. Mecole Hardman for the Kansas City Chiefs. We got some injuries on the Chiefs side that, adds to Mecole Hardman's value.
Yeah, for sure. Mecole Hardman is like the ultimate high-risk, high-reward type of player right there. He scored a touchdown in 2 of his last 3 games. His problem is just like his ability to get on the field, because, you have Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, and even Demarcus Robinson is ahead of him on the depth chart. But, yeah, Sammy Watkins, he exits the game with a hamstring injury, and they're saying that he's expected to miss a couple of weeks. So if Sammy Watkins is going to be out of the lineup, should just be more opportunities for a guy like Mecole Hardman, who is like the big play threat. I mean, he's a guy where, kind of like Ruggs, where, he doesn't need a ton of targets, but he could take one of those catches or one of those end arounds to the house for 50, 60 yards for a touchdown. But, yeah, so if there's not going to be any more Sammy Watkins there, more opportunities. And if you have this guy named Patrick Mahomes throwing you the football, that also doesn't hurt as well.
Sign me up.
He's available in over 60% of all leagues. So, yeah, not a bad ad, Mecole Hardman.
Mecole Hardman.
He's a nice player to grab. And then if he has another boom game, you package him with like another player, because I feel like he's scoring touchdowns, that he's on the Chiefs. He's selling like, oh yeah, man, he's on the Chiefs, bro. He's got Mahomes throwing the ball. He just had a touchdown.
Sometimes I feel like
it's easy to sell that. I feel like
when you sell players though, when you're doing these trades, like if you do the selling, it makes me think like, well then why, if he's so good, why don't you want him?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But some people aren't like that. Some people are like,
okay. I don't know. I had a buddy just do that to me on the phone. He was like, I need to win next week. And I was like, then why do you want Josh Jacobs? He's on bye.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyways. Go get Mecole Hardman. How about Mike Williams? Keenan Allen goes down with the back spasms in the beginning of the game. Mike Williams steps up and becomes Justin Herbert's new favorite pet.
New pet.
I don't know.
Is that what you wrote down? Or that's just what your brain.
Yeah, that's just what my brain decided to say.
That's just what your brain said.
Yeah. It's just,
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
It's my new favorite pet. What do you want from me, dude?
Anyways, Mike Williams. For me, I'm the biggest Mike Williams guy, so it was nice to see him finally come out and have a game, especially on Monday night on the bright stage when everyone's watching.
He completely mossed somebody.
Kind of show you why I'm so hyped on Mike Williams and why I think he's a really good football player. I mean, they did draft him. I think it was 6th overall a couple years back. It might have been 7th overall in the first round of the NFL draft. But, yeah, Mike Williams is a monster game. 5 catches on 8 targets, gets you 109 yards. He gets you the 2 touchdowns. He actually could have had another touchdown. He burnt one of these Saints corners on a double move.
With what?
And he was running straight down the sideline, and there was no one within like 15 or 20 yards of him. And Justin Herbert was going to dial back and throw him the deep ball, and the defender just hit Justin Herbert's arm, so he kind of threw up a duck. But, yeah, we could have seen an even bigger game out of Mike Williams. He could have had 3 touchdowns and like 200 yards receiving right there. But it's just nice to see. I know Keenan Allen wasn't there, so obviously it's kind of, when Keenan Allen's been there, I feel like he's been Herbert's go-to guy. But I think you just kind of see the trust that Herbert has in Mike Williams, where, if Herbert's going to be, dropping back and just, chucking bombs down the field like that, Mike Williams is like the best, if not one of the best deep ball receivers in the NFL. I mean, like you said, you throw him the ball and it's like he goes up there and he like Megatron, like he just jumps over everybody because he's just that much bigger, and he just jump higher than everyone else, and he just high points the ball over everybody else. So yeah, I do like Mike Williams going forward. Like I said, especially if Justin Herbert's going to be slinging that thing deep. Love Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. We got Laviska Shenault Jr. Laviska. Gardner Minshew's throwing the ball a lot. They can't all go to DJ Chark.
Yeah. So Shenault Jr., he's 65% available in all the leagues. He's actually a top 30 wide receiver right now in full-point PPR leagues. And you don't tend to find those a lot, especially on the waiver wire. So I'd go out and get him. He's had 10 or more points in 4 of his first 5 games. And he has 28 targets on the year. And that's actually tied with Keelan Cole for the most on the Jaguars. So, yeah, go out and get him. He's a versatile player, too. He can run the Wildcat. He can take some end-arounds. Like I said, if you're telling me there's a top 30 wide receiver who's available in 65% of the leagues, I'm going to get that guy. He should at least be on your bench. And like I said, when you got all these bye weeks coming up, injuries, COVID games getting canceled due to COVID, I feel like bench depth is more important than ever these days. I feel like sometimes people they'll get their starting lineup and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm good," and like they don't really care about their bench.
But you don't understand is you get one injury.
Yeah,
that's a danger of package trading too, which I've learned over the years. Is you like package trade and you're like, yeah, but I got all these running backs, so I'll get rid of a couple and then I can get this better one. And it's like one of these better ones go down. Yeah. That's why you got to go grab them off waiver wire constantly.
For sure, yeah. So, yeah, go grab Laviska Shenault Jr. Should definitely be on your bench. I mean, he's a top 30 receiver. I don't know what much I need to say.
Say less.
Say less.
Let's go on to Corey Davis. He was out because of COVID this week, but I think he steps back in and he kind of gets back into that role he started in the beginning of the season. A.J. Brown had a pretty good game, but I do think that Corey Davis has shown some value with the Ryan Tannehill 1-2.
Yeah, for sure. Corey Davis, he's available in over 60% of all the leagues. I feel like he was getting dropped. Week 4 they had the game get postponed. They turned it into a bye. And then obviously this week he ends up on the COVID-19 list, so that's 2 weeks where he's not there. If you need to scramble the waiver wire, people need players. He could have potentially been dropped in a lot of leagues if they weren't smart enough to throw him on their IR, or if your league doesn't have the IR spot. But, yeah, I mean, he's had a good start to the season. He had 12 or more PPR points in all 3 games. And, my guy Tannehill in this Titans offense, I mean, they've been hot.
Cancel. So hot right now.
They've been cancel. They've been hot right now. They just put up a ton of points against the Bills tonight. So, yeah, I feel like when he comes back, Tannehill's playing really well. This Titans offense seems to be clicking on all cylinders. Yeah, go get Corey Davis. Like we were saying before, like we haven't really seen him put it together on a consistent basis. 3 straight games of 12 or more points. He has yet to do that. So, for him to come back and keep it going, that is yet to be seen either. But he's trending in the right way. And like I said, this Titans offense is really rolling. They're putting up some points. Tannehill looks good. Yeah, so I'll take a chance on Corey Davis.
Yeah.
I'll go out and grab him, throw him on my bench, and see what I got there.
I mean, the Titans have put up 33 points, 31 points, and 42 points in the past 3 games.
That's pretty good.
I like that. That's almost an over-under right there on each of those games. It's an over. Okay, we can move on to Travis Fulgham.
Yeah, we're touching on a couple of Eagles wide receivers right here. You got Travis Fulgham, if I'm pronouncing that right. Second-year receiver. He had himself a day, 10 catches on 13 targets, 152 yards and a touchdown. I mean, it's nice to see the young player have a good day like that. I wish there was, Anthony and Dre were here so they could kind of give their opinion on it. But I think this is more of a game script. I feel like they kind of found a area of the Steelers defense that they could attack, and they just picked at it. They just picked at it and picked at it and picked at it because no one else really had a good game outside of him. Like Greg Ward, the slot receiver, he didn't really do anything. Zach Ertz had 1 catch for 6 yards. He did nothing.
I feel like there was a lot of focus on the Steelers side defense on Zach Ertz, and that's about it.
Yeah. So I think this is more of just, game script. They found a good area to attack the Steelers defense. And then also there was no Deshaun Jackson and no Alshon Jeffery. both those receivers line up predominantly on the outside, and that's where Travis Fulgham was lining up majority of the time outside, because you got Greg Gore who lines up in the slot. You even got John Hightower who's out there lining up outside as well, more than Fulgham has. I just think once Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffery come back, we're going to see Travis Fulgham go back to like the 4th, 5th string receiver on this team, and he'll be nothing. So I would not be wasting.
Yeah, this is more of like we're mentioning this name and letting you know like why we don't like it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It'd be nice to see what Anthony and Dre would if they were to like him,
I'm
or
with
if they
you.
would agree with what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I think that Pittsburgh's been getting exploited on the outside week in and week out. We're not as good of as our defense is, and good as our quarterback pressure is. I definitely notice if they can hold off for literally like a quick second, they can throw on the left side of the field past our right corner a lot of the time. So we can move on to your boy Alshon Jeffery and why you want to pick him up.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one Eagles receiver that I'm trying to get off the waivers, I've said it for a couple weeks now. I just keep bringing up his name. I don't know why they didn't put him on IR, where he would instantly just be out 3 games, because we're entering week 6 now, and he has yet to see the field. So I'm just not sure why the Eagles haven't put him on IR. It just makes me feel like he's almost there, or he's capable of playing. I just don't know why they haven't. Obviously, he had the Liz Frank surgery. I know the medicine man said it wasn't very good, especially for receivers with all the breaks and stop and go that they have to do with the routes. But, yeah, if there's one receiver I'm going to get, it's Alshon Jeffery. He's available in over 80% of leagues. I just think that these Eagles offense is lacking pass weapons. They need playmakers. And, I get it, Travis Fulgham, he had a good game, but he's not the answer. And hopefully when they get Deshaun Jackson back, hopefully Ertz can turn it on. I don't know what's going on with Ertz.
Yeah.
I literally do not know what's going on with Ertz. But, yeah, I do like Alshon Jeffery. I still think if you're going to put him out there with all those receivers, you could argue that him and Deshaun Jackson are the best receivers on that team. So, yeah, go out and get Alshon Jeffery. Go get him and be a week early instead of a week late. Because if he comes out and plays and he has a Travis Fulgham type of game, then he's going to be the hot waiver wire pickup. I'd rather go get him right now for free.
For free.
And then if he has a good game, you have him. And then if he's a bum, then you just drop him. I mean, you put no risk into it.
Yeah. Some say you got to risk it for the biscuit, but in Alshon Jeffery's case, you do not need to risk it.
You get the discus out.
You get a discus. This is my guy I added in here. It seems a little silly when I saw the name come up just now, but we got Antonio Brown here. Antonio Brown. Hold on one sec. So I know you're like, dude, Antonio Brown's not on a team. This is a deep ad. He's on an 8-week suspension, but he's out. He's doing his suspension right now while he's on. While he's not on a team, free agent. So that being said, I think some team is gonna take a swing on him. He's not done anything completely ridiculous in the past 6 months, so it makes him look pretty good on paper. He's
been a good boy.
Yeah, he's been a good boy. He's been behaving. I follow him on social media. He's not been doing anything super ridiculous. So that being said, I'm gonna take a swing and add him. He's definitely not a person I'm gonna put on as a waiver priority because there's not gonna be any competition for him at all. But I think he's definitely. I mean, if you can, Antonio Brown is what we like to call electric. And if I can have a wide receiver that can, I think he could come in after week 8 and win me my fucking playoffs. I'll sign me up. I mean, he played one game in New England with fucking 4 days before the game happened last year. Was that last year? Yeah, it was last year. And he was able to score a touchdown and get a decent fantasy game. So that being said, fucking, if you're in a spot where you have extra bench spots, throw Antonio Brown on there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still arguably a top 10 receiver if he was to come back to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like I said, he probably wouldn't be able to come back until week 9, technically, if he was to sign with a team. That's a deep ad. But yeah,
it's a deep ad, but
we'll
just
see if
keep
a
an eye.
team will take a shot on him.
Keep an eye on him. You want to have him on your team before he gets signed because once Antonio Brown gets signed, if he does, that's going to be a guy that's just everybody's going to go for him. So better late than never, you know? Then we got Preston Williams. Jesus Christ, we have a lot of receivers here. We got Preston Williams. I'm not a big fan of Preston Williams. Do you want to sell me on it, or do you agree with me?
No, I said it. I think when we did the stardom, sit-em, or like guys we like and don't like for week 5, we both agreed we didn't like Preston Williams, and I said drop him. He comes out and he has a big game. It was like 4 catches over 100 yards. He gets the touchdown, but they just destroyed the 49ers.
It took 4.
I can't remember the last time the Dolphins put up 40 points.
But that's what I'm saying is like, okay, the Dolphins put up 41 points and Preston Williams only got 4 receptions.
Yeah.
That tells me that if anything, that tells me that I don't want Preston Williams on the team.
Yeah,
on my team.
He had like 2 big catches down the field. I think they opened up the game with like a 40-yard catch, and then he had like another like 30, 40-yard touchdown catch as well. He just didn't look the same to me. He had a good game, good for him, but the 4 weeks before that, he did nothing. I think he had like 1 catch or 2 catch in every single game up to that point. He dropped a couple passes. He was dropping passes. He just didn't look the same. This is a game where Devontae Parker only had, I think, 2 or 3 catches for like 50 yards. He gets you the touchdown Devontae Parker did to have a good fantasy day for you. But Preston Williams out-targeted Devontae Parker. I think going forward, if there's like a more competitive game, I think Devontae Parker would be the one who's getting force-fed the ball, not Preston Williams. So I need to see it on a more consistent basis from Preston Williams. Cool, you did it 1 week out of 5.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good odds. 20% is not good odds.
Not good. Okay. All right, then we can go on to Manny Sanders for the New Orleans Saints. You like this guy or what?
Yeah, he's more owned than not, but if he's out there, I wouldn't mind going and grab him. Like I said, it's always good to have depth. It's always good to have some bench players. I mean, he's a wide receiver 3 flex guy, and I think once Michael Thomas comes back, some people might think that could actually hurt him. Obviously, he's putting up some monster games because there is no Michael Thomas, but I think once Michael Thomas comes back, that can actually just help him because now that's just another weapon. I mean, it's one of the best receivers in the NFL that the defense needs to account for. And I mean, we kind of saw it on Monday Night Football. The man crush Manny Sanders. His route running is nasty. He's one of the best route runners in the league, and I think we're kind of seeing Drew Brees in this offense start to open up more. So yeah, go get Manny Sanders. Definitely worthy of a bench spot. Wide receiver 3 flex guy.
It's so weird. We all talk all this shit on Drew Brees, and then I remember there's one play where he threw like a 40-yard bomb, and I'm like, dude, is Drew Brees like 20 again?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. We can move on to what's the next position? It's the big boys, also known as tight ends. All right, number 1 tight end ad right here. We got Robert Tonyan. I mean, they just came off bye.
Tonyan or Tonyan?
Tonyan.
Hey, Thorns.
He's not gonna work here anymore. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Robert Tonyan. Fucking, I don't know, man.
Baby Kittle.
He worked out. Yeah, he does look like Kittle, actually.
They call him Baby Kittle.
Call him baby, get me some fucking points. Yeah, so they came off a bye week. The week before, he had the 3-touchdown game. No Allen Lazard. I don't trust MVS. Depending on whether or not Devontae Adams comes back. I still think with Devontae Adams out or in, you still have value with Robert, which is weird to say that a tight end has value in Green Bay.
Yeah, it is weird because you've seen guys like Jimmy Graham, Martellus Bennett, Jared Cook, all these guys who have been fantasy productive in other teams in other years. Whenever they go to Green Bay, they're just, we're hyped on him because this tight ends with Aaron Rodgers, and they just don't do good. But for whatever reason, Robert Tonyan is showing out. He's got 5 touchdowns. That's tied most for all the tight ends with Jonnu Smith and Mark Andrews.
Yeah, what is he? Tight end what?
I'm not sure what tight end is.
I thought someone said, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
But he's 52% available ESPN, 40% on NFL, and 29% on Yahoo. Like I said, people could say, okay, he's only doing good because there's no Devontae Adams. I would argue that once Devontae Adams comes back, that'll help him because then you have to account for Devontae Adams. Like right now, the defenses they don't have to account for anybody, But now when Devontae Adams comes back, you're probably going to be doubling him, which is taking 2 defenders off of that can't really focus on Tonyan. And for whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers trusts him, and that's important because that's the guy who's throwing him the fucking football. Aaron Rodgers. He's a good red zone weapon for them there.
Yeah.
I feel like when they get close in the red zone, he's heavily utilized as well. I mean, 5 touchdowns. So
Yeah, check out. Some people might have done a sneaky drop for the bye week, so you'd be surprised. He might actually be there with you not realizing.
People
it.
probably slept on him because he didn't play this week. So, well, go out and grab him. I mean, the guy's had touchdown in 3 straight weeks.
Especially with the game cancellation, there's probably going to be some bye week drops that happen over the weekend that you're not even aware of. So, yeah, go check it out. Move on to the next guy. Whoops. We got Eric Ebron. This is a Steelers tight end. His amount of targets aren't sexy. His amount of receptions aren't sexy, but I still am sticking with he's reliable for Big Ben, and that's what he wants. Eric Ebron's going to be exploiting the middle of the field more and more. He's getting more and more involved slowly but surely, and I think it's just whether or not he catches the end zone and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think
tight ends are not hitting. If you have Austin Hooper, you're panicking. If you have Hayden Hurst, you're panicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Eric Ebron over those guys. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think, week 1, he didn't have a good game, or I feel like he's still learning the offense. He was a free agent, came from Indianapolis, so no preseason, shortened training camp and all that stuff. So he's still kind of learning the offense, still getting incorporated, still getting, Big Ben's still getting accustomed to having him out there. I don't think he's had a tight end like Jimmy Graham. I mean, not Jimmy Graham. I don't think he's had a tight end like Eric Ebron ever. I know Heath Miller and Vance McDonald are some pretty decent tight ends, Jesse James, but Eric Ebron's just a different type of tight end. He's actually like a pass catching tight end. But yeah, he played 75% of the snaps since week 2, and he's actually tied with Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster for the team lead in targets since week 2. Yeah, I do like him. I think he's a good streaming tight end if you're going to play the matchups. And then, like I said, I feel like the more it gets acclimated to the system, we can really see him become like a back-end tight end one where you're feeling more confident starting him in week week out. But, yeah, I'd definitely go grab him.
Yeah. I think it's a decent ad.
I mean, you got to remember, this guy had 14 touchdowns or 15 touchdowns one season. So he's a red zone weapon, and he's a touchdown machine.
I just think you have a safe floor with Ebron. Especially in PPR leagues.
Yeah, 5 catches in back-to-back games. So
yeah,
if that can continue to go forward,
I think it will go up as well. Yeah. I'm predicting. We got Jimmy Graham, the Chicago Bears tight end. Why do you put Jimmy Graham on this list?
Yeah, Jimmy Graham, he's available in pretty much like about 50% of all the leagues. He's actually tight end 6 right now in PPR leagues, and I know his numbers haven't been sexy. The yardage and the receptions. They haven't been sexy. But you know what's sexy? Touchdowns. And my guy is out here scoring touchdowns.
He's a big red zone threat, which is what you fucking love for tight ends.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns in 5 games so far. He's scored 11 or more PPR points in 3 of the 5 games. He's like a boomer bust touchdown, boomer bust tight end guy who's kind of touchdown reliable. But if he's getting touchdowns, then he's putting up points for you. So, yeah, not mad at Jimmy Graham, who's widely available out there.
Love it. We can move on to some defenses. First defense you recommend to pick up for streaming, the Miami Dolphins. Homer pick or not?
For sure homer pick, but I'm going to tell you why. They're playing the Jets. And, you just follow the Jets, pretty much stream the defenses.
That's what I do in my survival league. That's what I do for streaming defenses.
I just can't imagine the Jets are going to be better. They lose Le'Veon Bell. They just release him. I mean, you just lose one of your best offensive weapons. I don't know how much better this offense is going to be now when you just get rid of one of your best offensive weapons. But then there's some good numbers on the Dolphins right here.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't really produced much there, but yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't think a lot of people understand this. But the Dolphins' defense is 100% different. Like I said, Xavier Howard was hurt last year towards ACL. He's back. We go get Byron Jones. We paid him a ton of money. So we have 2 lockdown corners. We go out and get Kyle Van Noy, Shaq Lawson, got a DN from the Chiefs, go out and get a couple players in the draft as well. So, yeah, this defense is just completely revamped and different. They actually have the 7th most sacks in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins do, and the Jets are giving up the 8th most sacks. So I'm expecting some sack lunches. Sack lunches and pressure lead to throwing the ball without really going through your reads. And when you have good corners like Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, That's a potential to get some interceptions right there.
Jim Jones, Byron Jones.
So, yeah, I do like the Miami Dolphins at home this week against
here's the thing.
the New York Jets.
Here's the thing. The Miami Dolphins, they're in a different category these days. When do you think the Dolphins winning the Super Bowl?
2022. I said clip that shit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ask me if I clipped it.
You didn't. Did you do the $9.99? You didn't.
Oh, my God. We're doing this on the podcast right now,
You're
dude?
probably not even going to post this fucking waiver wire article I just spent my whole day doing.
Oh, my God. Dude, does one article, gets a big head. Look at this guy.
Dude, I'm applying for ESPN. I'm sick of you guys.
They won't hire you.
I'm better than you guys, dude.
They don't hire Mexicans.
I'm pulling a Justin Timberlake. I'm leaving the band. I'm pulling a Freddie Mercury. I don't need you guys. You guys need me.
Bro, nobody needs you.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
That.
I need you.
I
Do you need me?
Yeah, dude.
Do we need – no, okay. Washington. Let's go on to the next defense. We got the Washington football team. Why you picked this one? I think Dolphins against the Jets was kind of a shoo-in, but you picked the Washington defense for this one. Bro, we're going to start calling you Mr. Miyagi defensive stream of the week.
Yeah, dude. I've been hot like Hansel with my streaming defense.
Sure they have been.
Yeah, pretty good. But, yeah, I do like the Washington football team at New York going against the Giants. That front seven for the Washington football team is pretty nice. You got Kerrigan. You got Montez Sweat. You got Chase Young. Some good linebackers there.
Young.
And then what is the one thing that the Giants don't have? That's an offensive line. We always talk about how bad the offensive line for the Giants struggles, so I'm expecting a lot of pressure. Danny Dimes has not looked very good.
Yeah.
He's prone to fumble, so I'm expecting some sacks. Maybe some strip sacks, get some fumbles.
Who's worse? Who's worse, Mitch Trubisky or Daniel Jones?
Trubisky.
Yeah, I agree. Both of them are best. But
yeah, those are the guys right there.
That's a little waiver wire episode for you boys. Whoa, we did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. We told you the running backs that you needed on your team, and we got the wide receivers. Don't run away. We still got things to say. Thanks for listening. If you guys leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcasts app, I guess I'm alone now. I guess the podcast is over. Sick, dude. Leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcast app, and we'll read one out to you. Actually, I'll read it out right now. Since I'm alone, just me and you. Let's talk. Yeah, so this is the most recent rating and review. You can literally write anything on here. Just leave us 5 stars if you could. But you could literally go blah, 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 blah. And I'll read it out here. I'm reading every single one. So this is the most recent one. This is from Jerry Mattison, which is an insane name. It says, these guys are hilarious. My first year doing fantasy, and this podcast has seriously helped me know who to draft. And they make me laugh the whole time as well. Would gives 10 stars if I could. Wow. I appreciate you. What was it, Jerry? Jerry. I appreciate you, Jerry. Thank you for the review. You can read this. All you got to do is go to the Apple Podcast app and scroll all the way down to the bottom. You just leave a little review there. If you got an iPhone, you can do it easily. I think you could do it on iTunes as well, but I'm not 100% on that. So subscribe to us on everything. Subscribe to us on YouTube if this helped you at all. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. You can ask us questions there. Every Sunday we do a live stream for we call it the last minute lineup live stream, and we do an hour before the game start. We let you know who to start and who to sit, so you can really ask questions there, and we'll give you an immediate response and give you our reasonings. And we have all 4 of us here, me, Anthony, Dre, and Tyler, all there. So that is a good place to be. If you just need that last minute, should I play this guy? Should I play this guy? I will say, when we give this advice, you can take it, but I always say go with your gut too. So if you're really sure on something, go for that. Go with your gut, I would say. But yeah, like I said, thanks for listening. This has been the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 59. And us big boys, well, now all of us big boys are out.